Hi everyone. So I am here with Laurel Card, who happens to be my daughter. And I will tell you, as a big believer in intuition, as is Laurel, that I have felt my intuition knocking on my inner door forever, not forever, but over the past year saying, I need to get doing this with Laurel, to do an interview with her. So thank you, Laurel, for finally agreeing to do this with me.
You're welcome.
Did I have to twist your arm and make you do it, or were you pretty willing?
I was willing, but now I have the time to do it.
I know, we do. So why didn't you have the time before?
Because I was busy running around teaching classes and picking up my daughter and taking her to school and her classes, and now I don't have to do that.
Because of the situation in the world with the virus, which has challenged us in many ways, but also what you're talking about is created more space and more time. And here we are able to talk to each other online. And so as someone who has always been rather, standoffish of technology, I am so grateful for it. Very pleased that I can do this with you. And so let me also just say, before we get into talking, you and me, that I'm going to be doing, I have already done 8 videos with the 3 women that are in my book, You Are a Heroine. And they tell their stories on these videos in keeping with the heroine's journey story. And I've also interviewed a couple other people, have videos. I kind of put them off to the side, waiting. I don't know what I was waiting for, maybe for people to be less busy. But Laurel, I'm hoping that this can sort of be my kickoff video for that series, because you might remember that you've had some big heroine's journey travels, and I thought maybe we'd talk about one that happened a while ago, and then maybe the one that you're going through right now. How does that feel?
Okay.
Again, quickly for people, heroine's journey, the heroine, the woman, is kind of in her regular life doing her normal stuff, and then she gets a call, something from within that is, maybe you can call it your intuition or whatever, that's saying, I need to make a change. The heroine responds to that call, does something that's usually looks like a big leap, something she's really having to leave her comfort zone to respond to it. Then she's on the journey, and it's an unknown journey. She's never done it before. There's good things, bad things that happen, ups and downs. It can feel really uncomfortable, but she gains so much, learns so much. This is how she grows. And then she comes back and shares what she is and what she's learned with the people in her life. So talk us through what a big journey was for you in your life.
So you're talking about the past one?
I am. Do you feel good talking about that one?
Yes, I feel like there's so many, but I guess the big one was going to school in New York City and just going through the motion and not being happy because I wasn't dancing. I was trying to find a backup plan for if I didn't make it as a dancer or a dance teacher, because my mother advised me I
Your
needed
mother?
a backup plan.
That would be me.
And and it's kind of, my whole life, people have always, including, it's funny, I mean, so I'm coming forward again, but a recent conversation with my dad in the time that we're going through right now, him saying, I think it's maybe time for you to find something else to do. So I think my whole life, people, my guardians, right? Or my, what are they called?
You could call them parents. Is that what you mean?
Parents, but also the people,
Well,
but not
threshold guardians. In
threshold guardians.
journey language, they try to keep you back because they care about you. And
Always say, you know, why don't you find a real career or something that's more stable, or which I did try to do, and I was miserable. And just kind of going through the motions of going to college and not doing well in college because it was not what I wanted to do. And then 9/11 happened, which was a huge wake-up call to me and many other people, obviously. And
you were in Manhattan when that, yeah.
Right, going to school in Manhattan when that happened, and realizing later that, you know, life is just too short to not be doing what I love to do. And previously I had been asked to be in a dance company in Philadelphia, which I turned down because I was going to school in New York. And my parents did not want me to leave school. I had to go to college. And so then after that happened, I decided I had to take that leap and leave and disappoint my parents and just go. And
I think you've called me your biggest threshold guardian.
probably
The biggest one, asking her to stay in her comfort zone, because I interpreted that as security.
which also wasn't my comfort zone, though.
I know, but it was right. But
It was your comfort zone.
it was, and I
You
was
were trying to keep me in your comfort zone.
forcing you to stay in my comfort zone with me. But yeah, I remember it so well just because it was parents' weekend for the college, and it was a week after maybe 2 weeks after 9/11 had happened. And we were at the Museum of Modern Art in the cafe, and that's when you told me you had to be done. And I remember everything inside of me shouting, no. But
If you remember before that, you were talking about your mother. Do you remember this? And saying how you did everything that your mother wanted you to do.
Right.
And you said to me, if I ever do that to you, Laurel, please let me know. If you're living your life for me, please let me know. And that was my opportunity.
There you go.
Well.
And I remember saying that about, no, Laurel, the only way you get ahead is to go to college. But then kind of underneath that inside of me was, Laurel's soul knows better what she needs to do than I know for her. So at any rate, please continue. What happened? Life was a bunch of roses after that?
No. So I left school and went back home for a few months, and then packed my clothes, I guess, and moved to Philadelphia, and lived on my friend's couch at Temple University for a few months, and then had random apartments. But of course, you know, I was doing this all on my own and determined to do it on my own, and working as a waitress and not making any money. So where I had to live was very bad. And I remember you coming to visit me and crying because of the way I was living. And I didn't have any furniture because I didn't have anything, you know. So it was rough. And I went down many different paths that, you know, I didn't go directly towards my goal. But I think that was comfort zone stuff for myself, you know, being scared, you know, being there on my own and not knowing anybody really except for one person. And most of the girls had to audition for the company and I didn't. I just got asked to join. So there was a lot of kind of hatred towards me and who is this white girl from Maine, being like the only white girl in a hip hop dance company and not having to audition, and all the other girls had to audition. So it was very hard for me and pretty much made me shut down because I was too scared to show myself because they already judged me. And what if I wasn't as good as I thought I was, or, you know, yeah.
But also, I think all that was going on. You're in this new adventure, right? But even all that was going on, and your love of dance did not let you stop dancing.
No.
You just kept going.
Which always, I've never stopped.
Right.
I can't stop.
So how did that turn out?
It got better and better and better. I mean, worse and better. It was a roller coaster. But I was also young because I came here when I was 20 and had never kind of lived, maybe besides in a dorm, on my own. So it was challenging and ups and downs. And, I had to leave again and go back to Maine just to regroup. And then came back in 2007 in a ballroom dance studio, which was a completely change. So left hip hop and got into ballroom, which changed my life pretty drastically. So making more money, more stability, benefits, and then started living in nicer neighborhoods. And it's just gone up from there. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, with ups and downs again,
But would you say all those ups and downs, so we talk about the journey puts you kind of in this belly of the whale where you get tossed and turned and you learn a ton and you grow and experience. And I would say if you could look at all those things together, where you say you went this way and that way, it was all to grow you to now. Yeah.
I mean, especially when I left the ballroom studio, and had Gia, and she was one, and trying to figure things out from scratch again by myself was the bell, and I've learned so much.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time and it doesn't happen overnight, but.
So then having this experience, having been, so even though you're my daughter and there's no bias here, but I would say you're definitely a heroine. And so how does that help you with what's happening now? Because your ordinary life or your comfort zone has been dance studio. I mean, say a little bit about your current leap out of your comfort zone.
So like right now.
Yeah. Maybe tell us a little about, so then.
Yeah, so real quickly, tried to teach dance on my own, sticking to ballroom. Everything has kept morphed and morphed and morphed. And then finally I started teaching, and I was barely teaching, not making, barely any money, but dance has been something I have never been able to let go of. So I've stuck into it and, started with like 2 people in a class, and now I have 20 people in my classes. And when I started teaching at the studio, Urban Movement Arts, Philadelphia, I started out with 1 class and had like 5 people in it maybe. Then started teaching 3 mornings. So I had 4 classes with like 5 people, like the same 5 people. And now I have 10 adult classes a week and have gotten consistently probably 10 people a class, but it ranges from 10 to like 22 in a class and in almost every class. So
what kind of dance are you teaching?
Latin dance, salsa, bachata, reggaeton, which is Latin hip hop, and Latin house, which is something I kind of just decided to do. It's not really a class that many people do, but it's combining like salsa and Latin dance to house music, which just makes it really fast, and partner classes and kids classes. So everything has grown a lot. And what's interesting is this whole shutdown, I haven't really been nervous about it at all. And a lot of people are stressing out, and I don't know why I'm not stressing out about it. I think part of me was, for a little bit, was excited because it gave me a little bit of downtime, because I'm constantly, and I was so tired, and we were rehearsing for I was putting on my first student showcase ever by myself, and that was supposed to happen tonight. So we were rehearsing a lot and dancing a lot, and I was really tired. So I think part of me was excited to have this break. Mm-hmm. But I'm still not nervous, and I've been meeting with my students on Zoom and just having classes anyways, not charged. I mean, just like, let's meet and dance as usual. And that's been really nice. And it's nice to actually to do it from home.
Why do you think you're not nervous?
I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. I just feel like everything's going to be okay. And maybe I feel I have such a great student base and a great support system that I feel like they will continue to take classes anyways, no matter if it's in person or not.
So if I asked you to go a little deeper.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know something about your beliefs, and I wonder if that has anything to do with it, how you approach life in general.
Yeah. Well, and I hate saying this too, because, this is a horrible thing that's happening, and a lot of people are sick and people are dying. So I hate taking situations like this and saying, well, I don't know, it's making a positive out of a negative, but
there's a silver lining. You're talking about a silver lining?
Yeah. And it's just, I always look for, I don't even look, it just naturally, there's always a reason or a purpose that things are happening for me. And this situation for me personally is forcing me again out of my comfort zone. So teaching at the studio with Vince and starting all these classes 3 years ago was very difficult for me and was like a leap, because I was still trying to figure out what I was doing and what am I teaching and who am I teaching, and trying to figure out who I was on my own. Which is huge, because when I started, it was like I was still this ballroom girl, that was trained to be, perfect and teach a perfect way. And over the 3 years, I've realized I'm kind of coming out in my own as a dancer and a teacher, and all these styles of dance that I've trained in for my whole life are mashing up, and I'm kind of becoming my own style in a way, which is totally cool. And I'm realizing I can break the rules, and I don't have to follow this strict, this is how this dance is supposed to look and to this music. And I'm not doing that. And I teach the foundation and I teach the technique because that's important and the roots are important. But then you need to dance it how you are,
and what you're telling us, I think, is that these journeys that these leaps you've taken have helped you be more of who you are and learn who you are, and you get clearer on your identity.
Yes. And now doing it again, but I've become comfortable, right? So I have my students, and it's a lot of the same students. I have like my own following, and I get some new people here and there. And every once in a while I get nervous if I have new people in my class or a new class, but then it's very comfortable. Everything's comfortable. But now here we are like this, right? And I can still put my face in front of the people I know and teach, and it's fine. Although the first time I did a Zoom, I was nervous. But now what's happening is I've always been comfortable with hiding, even within Philadelphia, and not putting myself out there as a dancer or a dance teacher, because I've always been scared of what people think of me. Or
Oh, I'm sure everyone listening, they've never felt that ever before.
right.
Yes, we recognize that. We know that feeling.
Yeah. And I think I've done that my whole life, and that is what has kept me back in the dance world. I think professionally and career wise, I think if I didn't hold myself back or put these walls up, or I'd be a lot further along at my age now than I am. And so I think this is showing me I can't hide anymore, because if I hide in this time where we're all stuck at home, then, you know, I'm just going to disappear. And I have to get outside of the people who know me. I have to put myself out there to all of Philadelphia, all of the world, show them what I'm doing, show them who I am.
And help them.
And it scares the crap out of me.
But here's what we're saying, what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
the time of opportunity. It can be a time of calamity, but there's always opportunity in that. And for you, you know, yes, you can say, I should have done it 20 years ago or something, but maybe the timing is just perfectly right. You know, I've held on to these 8 videos from these 3 wonderful women that are in my book. And now I'm feeling like this is the perfect time to release them, because people have time to look at them and watch them.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say? People talk about God's timing. God knows better. Yeah. So you're offering these classes online for the first time. This is your big current leap. And if people want to see them, how are they going to find you?
My dance Facebook is Laurel Card Latin Dance.
And we'll show that on the screen, Laurel Card Latin Dance, okay?
And I guess I will be updating. Oh, I don't want to. It's funny too, because you told me to live stream, and I'm like, no, I'm not live streaming to everybody. You know, it's very.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not, Laurel? I challenge you. I challenge you to try it.
I have 2 voices, right? So I have one voice that's like, Laurel, you are such a good teacher, and you know everything that you're talking about, and you know technique, and you're prepared, you know. And the other part of me is like, well, you're not good enough, and you're not at the same caliber as people who are live streaming and who are big names out there, traveling and teaching. You're not at their level, so you shouldn't be doing this. So I have these 2, you know, but even when this voice says that, still deep down, I know that that's not true.
Yeah.
At my core, I know that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, that I've always believed that my name would be a big name in the dance world as teacher or whatever, that I would be the go-to person in Philadelphia for this. You know, I believe that that's my purpose, but there's still these like little voices that are like, you're not good enough yet. Almost, you're not yet, not yet, not yet.
Those voices, they just, I mean, we tell them to go away, but they just stay with us. We have to learn to just, thank you for sharing, okay, and keep going.
And just not care. Like, who
Right.
cares if somebody doesn't like the way I dance, or they don't like the
go
way
watch somebody else.
There's so many, exactly. There's so many teachers that they could take from. They don't have to take from me.
Right.
So I just need to not care if people don't think I'm good enough or know enough, or, you know, so that's where I'm at right now.
So Laurel, this I know is helpful for people to hear in whatever they're going through, particularly at this time, deciding how are they going to adapt. Heroines adapt to change. So I'm wondering, what do you want to tell them What do you want to tell the women watching that might be in a similar place? Oh, I have this voice, and this voice is saying you're not ready, or you're not good enough, and you need more credentials, and she does it so much better than I. What would you tell them? They were right here watching you, listening to
you. Are you allowed to edit this video?
Yes. Are you going to swear? Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
Are you going to say bad words?
No.
I'm gonna have to.
No, I don't know what to, I mean.
Well,
I would say that I believe that everything happens for a reason, and that whatever is going on right now is trying to, the universe is trying to pull something out of us or make us realize something or open our eyes, or maybe we were taking something for granted and now it's, trying to show us not to do that. You have to really figure out, okay, what do I have to do now? And I guess from that, I knew I have to put myself, it's all or nothing now. Now is what I realize. It's now or never, because if you don't do it now, I mean, this is your opportunity. So that's what I realized. So I think you just have to, I don't know, I'm getting stuck with words.
Well, you're saying it's time.
It's time. So where anybody, I think this message from what's going on is whatever you're holding back on, or whatever you're not doing, or whatever you feel like you're supposed to be doing but haven't done, now is the time to do it. And that we just, without even thinking, without even caring, just do it.
I think that's a great message.
Yeah.
A great message. Definitely.
Okay.
The time is now to be who you
Yes.
are and put your gift out into the world and don't hold back anymore. Yeah.
So I was going to just say really quick, like just a little, Zoom class has brightened so many people's days. So you never know how big your thing is touching somebody else, especially right now.
So I want to thank you for sharing your story with me. I want to apologize for all the times in your life I've been your threshold guardian.
Well, yeah. And it's funny, my dad really hasn't, he was like, oh, just do, you can go, but this time, writing to me, it was funny because he was like, maybe it's time now that you find something else. And I was like, no. And I got right back and I was like, if not, like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to push even harder.
There you go.
Like, and I haven't come this far and gone through all these up and downs for nothing to quit now. I'm not quitting.
Well, we talk about the dragon you meet on your journey. So the dragon is the virus, and it's going to stop them. Your dragon is that voice saying, you can't do it. Other people do it better. And keep following your bliss.
Thank you.
What I want to end with is, please come and join me on my journey, which I'm working to put out into the world with these videos, but also I have a Facebook group, Real-Life Heroines Network, and I hope you'll come join me there. And with that, we'll say have a wonderful day. Thank you, Laurel.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Mom.